You might find that the algorithm that you end up using is very simple, or you might end up using something that's very complex. You might start off with, say it's a text data extraction problem. You might start off with trying a random forest-based approach with some very simple text features, but that doesn't actually perform very well, but accuracy is low. Then you might move on to trying a deep learning model, seeing if that works any better. So this makes it hard to estimate at the start of the project how long it's going to take, or even what the final outcome is going to be. Is this going to be a large model, a 2 gigabyte model, where we're going to need some specialized infrastructure to deploy it? Or is it going to be very small and it'll scale very easily? So I think keeping in mind that uncertainty, and it's not that the data scientist is just bad at estimating. That is the nature of these projects. It's not clear from the start what the end is going to look like.
I could imagine a scenario where the software engineers are eager to start deep into the implementation phase, but the data scientist hasn't yet found the model for sure, and that might take some patience and some time to iterate before it's ready for
Exactly. Yeah, it's not clear what that model is going to be.
Let's go through some typical machine learning workflow steps and explain from a data science point of view what are some considerations, what's the procedure or technique that might be used, and if we're working with software engineers to create an automated pipeline, what are some things to keep in mind about this particular workflow step? Basically, what sorts of tools or techniques should we keep in mind for each step? So the first one I have down is data ingestion. So I guess there's a lot of different projects, but what are some things we might be ingesting and what are we feeding it into?
Yeah, this step is when you take your data from wherever it's stored in your company's infrastructure and feeding it into the rest of the pipeline. This is the point where you might also make the split into training data and validation data. And it's picking up that data from whatever format it's stored in and then potentially transforming it into a format that can move through the rest of that pipeline.
Can you give an example of unstructured or structured data?
Yeah, usually we call text or images unstructured data, and structured data is data that's in a tabular format. So that the tabular data could be data about the sizes of companies that you're considering, or the unstructured data could be something like the text of a complaint that you're trying to make a prediction.